see them being able to pull things out on the maps of Train and Nuke. We'll have to see. Maybe we can get a little bit unexpected results, but yeah, for me, it's going to be the AVEZ 2-1.
You know, especially as they get that CT start here on Train, I certainly have no reason to disagree. Again, Vertigo should be the main sticking point for the Crazy Camp, but AVEZ for me should be able to win map 1 and map 3 relatively confidently. So here we go. AVEZ will of course get the knife. They choose the CT side as you would expect off the back of Train. It's a case of seeing how far Crazy can go here on T, and seeing whether they can make things go the distance, of course. So yeah, just wait for that pistol round to go to the just get live here. And they do. We see how well Crazy can do on executions.
And you've got to think for the Crazy side, try and see if you can bring that momentum forward. We saw obviously that big comeback coming out on the City side, now moving over. I want to see this momentum continue. I want to see them being able to get in the face of their opponents, get those rounds on the board early, and just see if you can at least create some chaos on Train. This is AVEZ's map pick. We've seen them play it before. It's been a very close map between these two sides in recent history. But for Crazy, bring that momentum forward. Don't let AVEZ shut you down.
Well, let's see whether or not this T-side recovery will work out well for them again. Crazy. I think their recovery was on that T-side as well for the Inferno that we saw. So, you know, again, to follow suit from one T-side to another may be enough for the Crazy Camp to secure some decency here on Train. Again, most looking to that CT side, though. It's a case of recovering as good a half as you can here to start things off. So, pistol round. Let's see the buy-ups here. We also get to see the odds from Lootbet, currently favouring AVEZ as expected, but not by too much of a margin. They have a little bit of stock in Crazy, getting that earlier best of 1 upset. Let's see if they can pull the best of 3 upset out here right now. Again, if you want to place a bet on this match, then you can go to Lootbet, make a deposit, and you can get €100 bonus just by clicking the banner under the Twitch channel. So, diffuse for Norrot, got the smoke out for him as well. The flash in for Toxic, and straight out from Bialy. Look at his aggression towards Ivy. Sergey's expecting this, to gonna have to force him out of position. He's unable to get the shots off. Bialy takes him down instead. Sensei's made his way out of Teak on the smoke, then to cover him off. Meanwhile, T's bursting in to the B bomb site. Demiku's already on site, looking for Marcos out here. Upper Kai will end up falling to a 4 versus 4. Marcos takes down 1, can't connect the shot for the second, so the bomb plant will be secured in a 3 versus 3.
This is a really good position coming out from Crazy, allowing that bomb plant to get down. The only problem is they haven't been able to aggress onto the site. Great shot coming out from Psycho, and that's going to give them the man advantage.
And 3-on-2, taps up from Kyler. They just find Toxic over towards the summit spot, checking out the cross. A shot towards Sensei as well, and Psycho suddenly left alone. 1 versus 2, 1 shot, and getting the second headshot as well. Kyler to fall last, and Crazy to secure an all-important pistol round.
Alrighty, there we go, Crazy. That's what I'm talking about. The 3-on-3, the post plant goes down. Now, the rotates are very quick from AVEZ, and they get themselves into really nice positions. And Crazy, they can't really do anything. They can't aggress forward. They don't have any map control gained on the side. But what they do have, Jay, is the 3-on-3. And what a clutch coming out in the end there. Oh, those pistol shots. Lovely stuff indeed. And, well, that's the start that Crazy were looking for.
Nades onto them though, gonna keep Sensei suppressed as the scout tries to get the trade frag for his teammates going down. 2 tags up from the scout. Nades to return for Norrot here. The 5 versus 3 situation, the bomb plant to be secured, and there's no real way they can deny that. Up for a retake here, and heavy investment, maybe worth it to save us the couple of weapons that they have available, but Toxic drops 1 SMG on site. Does get a nice $600 kill, not quite the $1,200. Sergez will take the man down, so it's all left to Bialy in the back line here towards Ivy. 1 versus 4 for him. Scout shot, scoped in, doing damage. Again, going to try and tag them extremely low, so they could all die to the bomb blast here. If you can get that out, that would of course be a little bit of damage done to Crazy, but for the most part, they get their rifles in check, they get out of dodge, and they get the second on the T-side board.
Well, the force buy from AVEZ doesn't really find anything. Like, they do a hell of a lot of damage. Look at Psycho, Demku, Sensei, and Sergis, all very low players, but they're not getting taken down. So in terms of the economy game, a really great position from Crazy, only losing a single player, dealing with that force buy incredibly well. And well, this should be a 3-0 lead coming out for the Ukrainians. And certainly not the favourites in this best of 3. So getting off to a good start on the T side of Train can certainly put the pressure on the back of the AVEZ side.
Indeed, it could. Early T-side start for CR4ZY. Obviously, they needed something good like this to carry into the rest of the half. This is out for Marcos to try to shut it down with a decent kill against one player out here. AKs could end up in the hands of the CT side, especially if it pushes first, but for now they just got contention out here towards Ivy and into the brown halls. The flashes go over, completely blinds off Marcos, misses his shot, and that's going to be Demcube taking the man down. So wide face, not expected, B site under control, and it's probably going to be another good win for CR4ZY.
Yeah, it probably will be. You just see for AVEZ, the best thing that they can do is at least get a couple of kills, but it doesn't look like that's going to be too likely. I say that, and well, at least Kai's going to be able to strike onto one, but all in all, pretty good stuff coming out, and Circus just trying to get away with throwing that scout over, making sure that there's no chance of AVEZ being able to save that into the following round if they go and pick it up through city spawn. And for Kai and Kyla, they're pretty happy to not even look for really exit kills over at this B-bomb site. They're happy to play a little bit more passive on A and see if they can force CR4ZY into very aggressive positions to try and go hunting.
I won't give up the ghost on this one, though. The Mat 10 will face forward. Everybody else is going to get to safety. Tucked with his AK also stays in as the Galil gets recovered, so they keep all the rifles. And a 3-0 right now for the T's. Looking real good at this moment in time with a lot more that can go their way, especially if they get the rifle round together. I mean, they've built up quite the economy basis, so they shouldn't have worry too much about AVEZ doing damage with their rifle victory. The AWPs can come through for both sides. Sensei and Marcos are going to try and meet each other here at Ivy. It's a little bit of Ivy controls. An ace that comes in from the CTs, but a return nade on Nora seems to do more damage. Not quite a kill as of right now, but the AWP is challenging for one here. The AWP, the T side, meanwhile, slowly facing in. It comes to reaction times, and Sensei sees a bit more of Marcos than Marcos sees of him. Start out for CR4ZY here.
And Marcos has really not even had a chance to get going. We see the AWP in his hands immediately get shut down, and well, that's a good opening coming out for the CR4ZY side. AVEZ, they have at least taken this T-con control. Now, especially on a map like Train, it's very difficult to try and get map control on the CT side. You don't have many options. Getting a little bit of information, pushing aggressively. Nora may even be able to hear a few of these footsteps above him. But for CR4ZY, they can just group up together. They can go for the B-site execution, go as a unit. They only have to deal with 2 players at most. And 50 seconds left on the clock. Not a lot of utility for the CT players.
Plenty for the T side, though, putting their smokes out to the A bomb site. There it is, a fake, as you mentioned. Demcube's going to try and make his way in, but Norrock's got the information game, so he's going to have to try act upon this and continue to try and sell it back. Not going to happen as Kai drops 1, Bialy drops 2. Toxic can find the trade to a 3 versus 2, but it's seen the bomb now. The plant will be secure, but CT's quickly in position for the retake. Orb scopes in, gets taken back, so it's all of the Toxic making his way in against Kyla, takes that head off his shoulder. Second kill, not quite landed. And Kai will get his 3K. Nice stuff coming in from him on the defensive as he steps up for AVEZ, and they get the first on the CT board.
And unfortunately, what happens there for the CR4ZY side is the fake is not successful at all because they've got to play aggressively in T-con for the CTs from AVEZ. So straight away, with all that utility that comes out of the A bomb site and Demcube trying to sell a bit of a fake out through Pop Dog, the CTs know immediately. They know it's not A. They leave a couple of players there. The rotates are so quickly to that B bomb site. And that hold from Bialy was just incredible. Lovely 2K coming out. We're going to see it on the replay. That spray transfer. Fantastic stuff.
You know, one of the key elements there for the defensive. Unfortunately, he will be one of the key elements of the tech pause as well. AVEZ losing their main veteran. So a moment here to getting back into the server. Specifics will be forthcoming. But again, a big round for AVEZ to find here. You know, obviously the CT side needs to get something out for their board, needs to do something well. Grabbing the second AWP as well, the double AWPs coming in on the first rifle round. It's looking really good right now. CR4ZY have still found themselves 3-1 up. So right now, they're in a really prime position here, Dwick.
Yeah, look, they certainly are. And it could be a good chance for CR4ZY to be able to respond going into the following gun round. And you got to think for AVEZ, you know, they've been able to pick up the double AWPs, considering they picked up one for their own teammate and one from Sensei. So at least for AVEZ, double AWPs on city side of train is always fantastic. And probably an element that most teams try and get out on the city side, especially if they've got the economy line for it, if they've got the opportunity for it. But you've got to think for CR4ZY, it's a great start from them. You know, they go 3-0 up. Yes, they lose the first gun round of the game, but at least it's a good stance. You know, they were able to find that opening pick. They had that 5-on-4. Yes, it was a bit of a shutdown coming out from Bialy over at that B bomb side, but the intent's there for Jay.
And the intent has worked out pretty well for them. I mean, CR4ZY have looked pretty good on the T side, all things considered. Again, they get 3 rounds on the star when AVEZ have been, you know, kind of knocked back a peg. With rifles coming in for the next round as well, they could still find even more out of the T side in the early start. AVEZ forced to buy back because double ops are still in play. The M4s need to get brought down. Kai's need to be investing into his own M4. When Bialy gets back, I think he might have to rebuy his rifle. He did obviously go down. So still a lot of investment coming in from AVEZ. This will throw the economy not quite out, but it will certainly keep it low, and therefore AVEZ a bit of a hard time getting back into the swing of things, especially, again, if this is all talking about if CR4ZY are able to win this next round. So, you know, a big victory for the T side to take, but they just need to take it first.
And you've got to think for CR4ZY, we haven't really seen too much aggression in the early round. We haven't seen a T-side player try and sneak their way into Olaf and around that sandwich position. A lot of the time, it's just been very slow and passive on the defaults, waiting for AVEZ to make a mistake and to over-aggress. But it does look as if Bialy is back in the server, Jay. So we should be getting the round underway going into round number 5, our second gun round. And you've got to think for AVEZ, the most important element is get those double AWPs to find impact.
Going to start with round 5 here. Norrot's going to take his AWP over to Ivy. Marco's going to take his over to T-Con. Look for those opening kills here. 2 CTs out ahead of him. More the wall bangs connecting from both players, I believe. Sensei to 66 and Marcos to 53. 5v5 situation, but passiveness across the rest of the CR4ZY line. Don't want to concede anything back to the CT hands.
Oh, that could have been a big opening, but the flames just obstruct the view from Sensei. But here comes DemQ out towards the sandwich position. It is a 1-for-1 trade, but the presence has already been shown at the A bomb site, and the trades, they just keep going back and forward so damn quickly.
The HP advantage does favour the T side, but the man advantage is on CT. Bomb plant to be secured. The AWP sees Marcos back there, and he gets the second player as well. Beautiful stuff from him. That'll be a second on the board for the AVEZ retake.
Oh, and Marcos is coming alive once again. We saw his AWP potential on the CT side of Overpass. Those shots were very up close and personal, very close range. And, well, he delivers. 3 kills going the way of the AWPs combined for Norrot and Marcos in that last round. And, well, for CR4ZY, it was a great opening start. We saw DemQ going into that sandwich position, getting that 1-for-1. The trades kept going back and forward, but it seemed like it got to a point the 3-2 advantage was there for the AVEZ side, and, well, they just cleaned up. A half-buy attempt coming out for the T side, and this is an opportunity for the Poles to tie up the scoreline, Jay.
The round halls here for CR4ZY onto their half-buy round. It's expected they should probably get cleaned up relatively quickly here. But the rifles, the AWP and Marcos will still stand by and get ready to receive them. Smokes go down, the T-side make their way out. The re-smokes back from Kyle are going to try and hold contention here on the default plant position. The AWP flashed out, giving them a line back into the bomb site as they fall back passive. The plant there is very low HP. Is going to get towards the site, get the plant down here, not seen. Bialy does get Sergey's at least. They quick frag back from Toxic, but Kyle gets Psycho, so 4 versus 2. The Deagle's so close, but he misses his shots, and Marcos can take him down, leaving Toxic alone. M4 bursts in, does not get his kill, and now just gets in to save his rifles. CR4ZY will concede the third bet to AVEZ, even standing, as you mentioned, Greg, but a bomb plant bonus will significantly bolster the buy.
I'll tell you what, a lot of people might be thinking, that why did Kyler just throw a smoke to the left, sort of like behind him? And I haven't seen that before from a player around that B bomb site, but what it actually does is it gives you a sightline in towards ramp when the Heaven players can run out and they can't quite see you due to the elevation angle. Something I haven't quite seen before. It didn't exactly work for Kyler, considering that he played a little bit more passive, but you could certainly see what he was trying to be creative there. And the AVEZ side, well, they are going to be able to at least tie us up at 3 rounds apiece, and they certainly are able to hold on to that M4 going forward, but, well, straight away, Kyler, he's going to be able to find the opener on the City side.
And a big start. And the Orpa Sensei unable to find the trades back for CR4ZY. They do try their best, but AVEZ going to get away pretty much unscathed for the most part here. Just that damage done to Marcos, but everybody else is fine. Also vacating the Ivy control entirely. Going to continue to push up towards T-Con. Force DemQ out of position as Norrot gets that opening kill. Marcos tagged to 6 over on the B site defensive, and with AVEZ gaining the map control, gaining the second man advantage, they find Sensei next, and they could potentially get the round to their favor.
And Sensei knows that someone's aggressive, but he just can't really find the angle for it. Bihali, this is an off angle if I've ever seen one. On top of the little wooden crane, him falling down actually does give a little bit of information up for the CR4ZY side. And if Bihali's not careful, he could get taken down here from this AWP.
Well, around the corner, and indeed Sensei does take the man down. The AWP of Norrot still there to challenge it from Sandwich. He's very careful about their aggression. The Molotovs in towards him, though, should force him on top of the blue train. Is he going to be seen? He will be now. He can't get his shot off. Deagle back on Psycho. Does eventually drop to the hands of the AK. Sensei is traded, though. And 15 seconds for Psycho to make his way to the site. He's got back up here towards Ivy. AWP's rotating out of that position. Slapping off by the smoke. Burst in from the M4. Sees 2 players. There's damage. No kills. And Molotov takes him down. And the AWP scopes in. Takes him back to 1 versus 1. But Psycho with the HP advantage can take him out with the AK. 2 kills to his name. And CR4ZY just maintaining the lead.
Oh, man, you've got to think, you know, with the 5-on-3 advantage that AVEZ had, was it really necessary in getting so aggressive out through T-Con? And, well, using code MALTA over at Hellcase will give you a little bit of extra money on your account. And MALTA15 for 15% refill bonus. You'll be able to get all the information in the links below the Twitch channel and getting involved in our fantastic partners over at Hellcase. And for CR4ZY, honestly, Jay, that was a round that they probably shouldn't have been able to convert, considering the position that AVEZ were in.
Ops and M4s here for the CCs. A very hard buy back in from AVEZ, but they do find the opening kill with both orbs going down here to the Ivy position. The Molotov in from Marcos, who's got the face around his corner, get his shots off. Nothing going to get hit by Psycho, but eventually catches that man. He was completely blind, so couldn't defend himself. And the AWP of Norrot still looks for a trade frag. Back to the man advantage, but not to be. M4 Piali gets down DemQ. We return to a 4 versus 3.
And AVEZ, they've got pretty lucky to be able to find this opening advantage. And, well, for CR4ZY, it seemed like once they had found at least a trade out from Ivy, they just gave away some unnecessary one-on-ones to bring the advantage back in their favor, Jay.
.45 seconds, and the AWP, Norrot keeps his eyes on from Ivy. The open the AK of these 2 T-side players will start to make their way in, but as soon as one's seen, they should be able to connect the dots. Kyler's also shoulder baiting in from Stopper, ensuring nothing else comes through. Sensei pops up. AWP sees the man, should now know where they both are at. And the CTs converge on the crossfire here from 3 players at the moment. 4th one also in from Pop Dog in a moment's time. 15 seconds, CR4ZY, ensure nothing else comes through. Bomb gets dropped, Sensei gets dropped, and now there's a much more confident response to the round that CR4ZY just got.
And for AVEZ, I mean, we saw it a lot on Overpass, the aggression out towards the A bomb site, and it seems like we're certainly seeing it again on Train. The double orbs pushing out through Ivy for the aggression. And well, CR4ZY, they're going to take a tactical, realizing the money line, they're not going to be able to get a buy through. It's just going to be a half buy investment. But they've got to think, right, okay, how can we try and deal with this aggression? Do we want to try and fight aggression with aggression? Or do we want to play passive and allow that map control to be taken from AVEZ?
Oh, a tactical pause here for CR4ZY. Doing a decent amount of damage here on the T side. And again, stacking up a number of good rounds that could still work well for them in the grand scale of the map. But if they can extend them any further, then that will work even better for them. Second tactical in a row called by CR4ZY. Okay, they need a little bit more time to think about this. I mean, they've pretty much decided that they're going to force the buy here. Psycho on $700 with the AK invested in the scout out for Sensei, so it won't look amazing. Certainly seen better buys from several teams, but at least 2 AKs to work with here on the T side.
They're coming up with something big. A second tactical, that's something you don't see very often being called one after the other. So I'm guessing what happened there is that first tactical was to probably say, right, what we're going to do in the following gun rounds and what we want to achieve in this round. And then maybe the call was, hang on a minute, no, let's actually go for the force and kind of change that. And let's come up with a new idea, because for the money line they had, they certainly are not looking like a team that are going to force. But, well, CR4ZY, they are.
Double orb set up here for AVEZ once again. AK there to back it up here for Kai, and the first orb in of Marcos will take contact against the orb of the scout, I should say, of the T side. AK straight out. Pop Dog, though, gets taken down by Bialy. Marcos gets Toxic next up. The scout desperately looking for the pick back on Narot. You've been seen. The shot connects towards Sensei, so 2 players left for the T's. Unfortunately, CR4ZY bottlenecked out of here, picked apart. AK moving in to take out Sergis, sees that bomb. There's a second player there as well, as Marcos gets his USP kill, or watching out. And Marcos will get the final frag with a third frag, and then the second USP kill was won the round. AVEZ lead once again, game by the CT side, 5-4 on the board.
Oh, well, so much for the second tactical pause. I mean, that was just shut down from AVEZ. CR4ZY just didn't even find anything, and you've got to think now, we look at the previous matchup that these 2 teams faced against each other only a few days ago, and it was only 5 rounds on the T side for CR4ZY. Yes, they're 1 round away from being able to tie up their previous result, but things and momentum is starting shifting the other way. These double orbs are finding so much impact at the moment, and for CR4ZY, the best thing that they can do, Jay, to get back into this game on the T side, they need to get rid of these double orbs on the CT side.
Nice nades on. Could have been missed out here by the CT side. Toxic only taking like 4 HP. Incendiary from Kyler going to stop the push coming in from the ramp area. M4 getting out of dodge. Considering it here for Bialy to jump down, he's going to be ready for whatever CR4ZY want to throw at them. They're basically going for a B-side commitment here with a severe lack of utility. It does cause the hit to be very dry. CR4ZY taking their time with this one. Going to go for a fake out towards A, commitment towards B. Orp here for Marcos, drops 1. USP gets a second kill, seeing nothing else. The M4 of Kyler drops that bomb, drops a second. Nice simple 3K for him as well. Anti-eco cleaned up easy. Bialy is the only casualty sustained. And AVEZ now have a rifle round to deal with from CR4ZY.
And, well, they try a little bit of a fake out of that A-bomb site, see if they can just kind of waterfall out from the heaven position to get a bomb plant, but unfortunately, not successful in doing so. Kylo really shuts this down with the M4 and getting a couple of nice picks. AVEZ, this is now them getting a lot of momentum at the moment. The economy line, at least on a few players, is really starting to build. And for CR4ZY, they need a response, and they need one now. And look at the fast plays coming out from Demq. He's so damn aggressive.
But Narot takes down his backup. Sensei, 4 versus 4. Marcos to drop another good kill. So there's a falling. Toxic does find Marcos back to a 3 versus 2 now. Kai sprayed up. Kyler responds still. And Toxic left alone in the midst of the smoke. The bomb's in CT hands. Bialy at the end of the smoke, going to get spotted out. Takes out Toxic, very good and very efficient. Again, a brick wall post up by AVEZ. Every single player contributing to that round. And CR4ZY, their recent execution has just been unable to break the CT defense.
Honestly, that was so chaotic. That was so quick from CR4ZY. They rush out from T-Con. They try and wide swing the AWP out from Ivy. And within 30 seconds, that round had started and ended. It just seemed like the kills were just going so quickly back and forward. And CR4ZY, they were looking for the opening man advantages. But for AVEZ, they kept holding on to it. A 7 of 4, we can certainly see why they decided to pick this map, Jay.
M4. Been up against Toxic. Standing by, hoping to get something out here, but no. Nora again to start things off against DemQ. First frag goes the way of the AWP back here towards Hell. Kai takes out Toxic in Pop Dog. The Teaser made their way around. Somehow Psycho getting in behind the CT line, but they are able to account for it. Oh, CSGO! Alright. That's a good frag, but 1 for 3. And a 4-on-2 still for AVEZ.
And Crazy without a little bit of a sneaky play out from Ivy. Great shot actually comes out from Circus Piali. I think that flash was supposed to go over the E-box line and into the T-Con area, but I suppose it doesn't really make the biggest of difference. Oh,
Sensei dropping CSGO does get another good pick back. The scout headshot on the other line of the third man, so his string of good luck has come to an end. But even so, some impressive kills on the way back out. AVEZ will get their 8th on the board, claim the CT half. Crazy. It's all about bringing the scoreline as close as possible to watch this scout shot once again from CSGO.
Bang!
Fantastic adjustment. That one looks so good.
That was pretty sharp. That was a good scout shot. But the thing is that I'm noticing, especially on this T side, Jay, is a couple of individuals are hitting some nice shots, but they're not winning a lot of rounds at the moment. We had a 3-0 lead off the back of that pistol, but outside of that, they've only been able to win 1 gun round, and that's been it. AVEZ have been in complete control on this CT side. They've been able to press very aggressively out through Ivy, and well, that's exactly what's happening. Crazy. They can't even take Ivy control. CSGO is forced so far deep, and he's going to have to at least get some backup if he wants to take back this control.
Well, damage onto Kai and Marcos from here. The AKs, the AWPs, of course, standing by for Crazy. Smokes down from the CT camp. Will keep them over at Pop Dog, held away. But very little contact established from Crazy. They're just assuming map control right here. 60 seconds left. The T's slowly but surely making their way into what seems to be a split play, but very undecisive here from Crazy.
I mean, at least for the Crazy side, they've been able to establish a 2-man setup for AVEZ at the B bomb site, so they only need to deal with 3 players at this A bomb site, but it has to come down to the entries, and they've got to find it. Marcos, they know where his position is.
I think you saw Sensei make his way out towards Olof. A lot of noise being made here, but the Molotov's going to find it off here. Biali gets 1 kill, Sensei responds. CSGO and Toxic get 2 more kills of their own right. It's the A side scrambles to get to position, but they're unable to get there in time. Kai does catch Toxic aggressive. Now look for the AK. Going to spray through against Sensei, but times it a little bit too late. So boost up now as the M4 looks on sight, looks for someone of the T side, trying his best to catch off the Crazy players to turn a man advantage back to their favor. Looking on T-Con gets Sensei with a double dink headshot through the wall. So 2-on-2 now. Kai making his way in past red. There'll be 1 T-side player seen, but DemQ takes it out. M4 here for Kyla. Barely gets damaged to 2 HP. Just barely escapes as well for the likes of Kyla. And CSGO gets that final kill. 2K to his name and 5 on the board for Crazy.
Okay, that's a good round coming out from Crazy, and it was down to the wire. It certainly was. We saw a lot of chaos being established, and that's one thing that we've certainly seen from this Crazy side on the T side is really crazy stuff. You know, they're playing very close to one another. They're really strafing everywhere, trying to use those ladders. I mean, that's one element of a map like Train, that you can use that sort of strafing ability off the back of the ladders at the A and B bomb site. In particular, at A, we've seen it a lot from Crazy. A great nade to start things off, and that's Kai going down pretty low at just 52 points of health.
Yeah, tagged to the back of the head.
Don't like that.
Give you a headache.
A little bit.
Kai is head spinning so much that he decides to aggress here towards T-Con, and that might actually be a positive play. I mean, they're going to make their way out of position. As you can see, DemQ is up here in the apartments. As Kai continues to get aggressive, going to boost Biali up above this smoke to look for any T-side presence. Nothing will be seen here. The AWP and Marcos see some presence towards Brown Halls and lands a leg shot against Toxic, gets taken out by DemQ. Opening up the round for Crazy now. Backstab also wrapping back over. Sensei's going to catch Kyla, try and stall the rotation from Norot. want to make his way towards the bomb site, get planted out eventually here. The 5 versus 3, AVEZ might consider the save, and I actually think they've decided on it right here, yeah. So CR4ZY to 6 on the T side board going into the last round of the half. They've really made magic on this opening.
Yeah, they've had a really great late resurgence, I would kind of want to say, on this T side. That was a great round. A lot of the time, you don't see teams trying to split in from Ivy to the B bomb site. Maybe it's a lurker at most, but any more than 2 players you don't see very often because it's really difficult because obviously you've got to establish that Ivy presence, and then you've got 2 massive sight lines from Old Bomb to try and at least deal with the CT side looking in and getting that information, but it works out really nicely. We see the presence coming out, the B bomb site, that draws the attention away from a couple of the CTs. The late lurk comes out from Ivy as they make their way in through CT to try and wrap into that B bomb site. And CR4ZY, 6 rounds on T, not a bad half at all. Even if they only get 6 rounds, they can be pretty happy with that, considering that they really struggle on the T side on this map. And you know what? They could potentially get a 7th, especially looking at the buy from AVEZ. It's 2 MP9s to back up the rifles.
Kyler and Marcos they have a bit of a difficult time there with the lack of the, major abundance, I should say, of head Kevlar right now for CR4ZY. The T-side forces currently in a decent spot to fend off the likes of the lack of weaponry here for AVEZ. So all things considered, it looks pretty good for the Ukrainians. AKs in, 2 players quickly make their way out and quickly shut down Toxic. Psychos up, spray through Marcos, gets the follow-up kill. That's, it's 2 pretty big frags to gain, especially considering it's the SMGs that get tagged up. Map control established, and Sensei with the AWP. If he misses this shot, he could be in a world of hurt. The smokes are going to give them extra cover as they grab those AKs and try and fall back.
Unfortunately for Kyler, couldn't quite find the other one, but look, those MP9s swinging, doing a hell of a lot of damage, finding some great openers. And you've got to think for the CR4ZY side, they don't know if AVEZ is still posted up, and well, that's exactly where Kyler is.
Ready for Sensei, first round the corner, slow peek in, he's scoped out, we'll see the shoulder, but Sensei will still get the shot off. So 2-for-1 trade, Marcos, only thing left on the B bomb site, needs backup, and Bialy is there, quickly in from Connector to put the Molotov down, ensure that nobody goes pushing aggressive. They have got enough utility to go for execution though. No smokes for CR4ZY, so it'll be a little bit open. They've used the majority of it faking towards the A site. And SMG for Marcos still here, he's evaded bullets, Dem-Q getting close, but no cigar, and that's going to cost him, especially he drops that bomb. Sensei would have put scope back on towards Marcos. Needs to pick up the bomb and get it planted, but now he's the last man left. 10 seconds, 2K to the AWPer's name. Gonna have to ace clutch this. Here's one player coming in, drops him, looks for Kai, but no flick. M4 shuts it down and keeps control for AVEZ to turn a 9-6 half to the favor of the CT side.
Oh, well, okay. AVEZ, that was a pretty good retake in the end. And honestly, what that comes down to, Jay, is the fact of those MP9s realize, okay, you know, we don't quite have the firepower that the M4s do. Let's see if we can get up close and personal. They get aggressive up towards the brown halls. They force that early 5-on-3. And from there, CR4ZY, it's just a numbers game. Yes, we saw a couple of nice rounds towards the end of that first half, but I mean, they can be happy with 6 rounds, but at the same time, they probably should have been able to convert a little bit more than that.
AVEZ still being able to hold control on the CT side as expected, so faith has not wavered, especially on the odds at LootBet. Again, to remind you that if you want to get involved here with MALTA Vibes, the best way to do that is through LootBet, our betting partner. You can get 10 free CSGO spins and up to €100 bonus on your deposit by clicking the banner under the Twitch channel and get yourself involved. And you saw those odds on screen, and we'll see whether CR4ZY can live up to the upset potential, whether AVEZ will be able to shut them down. Again, still here on the AVEZ map pick. The utility in for Nora, the defuse out for Surgers with a smoke, and Nora's just going to try and put this out towards the B site very early on. Selim on the idea of a hit, but they're not going to fall for it. No T-side presence felt. Splitting back in as the bomb make its way in from the Ivy presence. 2 players smoked off. They can't mow much further than this. Meanwhile, AVEZ trying to strike out towards the main entrances. Very little being given up, but AVEZ showing their teeth here and there.
Oh, and crazy. That smoke out from Ivy pretty much shuts this round down of what AVEZ are trying to go for. They show the util over at B to fake out that bomb site and try and go quickly into A, and it gets slowed right down, but they have found the opening advantage. Crazy. They're in position to try and shut this down, but it seems like the blocks are fighting so much. Sensei and Toxic are now bringing this back into the 2-on-2, and for AVEZ, they've still got time to work with, and now it's all down to Toxic 1 versus 2. These Glocks, man, doing so much work for the AVEZ side.
Big stuff there from the defensive of Crazy, but they were unable to get it done. Look at these shots from Sensei in particular.
Ooh.
Beautiful shooting there. And they turn it to a 2 versus 2 with Toxic as well, but just the pressure forcing them back into corners quite literally. They couldn't fight out of it. And that is a 10th, a pistol, a crucial T-side start for AVEZ, and they'll continue to make the lead grow. AK's in, MAC-10's 3 rifles total for the T-side line. The Deagle moving in toward DemQ, hoping to catch off one player early on in the T-con position. Kyler with his MAC moves up, and Kai with the AK, seeing one player out towards his position. These scouts going to get shut down. 2 players spotted. The third man also set to fall. DemQ does respond with 1 good Deagle shot, but 3 picks have come in around him, and he's on 9 HP, so he can't stay alive for much longer. 1 versus 4 for Toxic now, and AVEZ look to continue here with their momentum.
And Toxic can't really do too much. Unfortunately, this force buy from Crazy hasn't really been able to reap too much success. They get a single kill, maybe see if they can hold on to this Deagle from Toxic, bring it into the following round. Bit of an interesting angle. We don't really see too many players around here looking to try and go for the save. It does look as if, though, that the gun barrel's not quite being seen, considering the Ivy players checked that sight line. 1 player goes down, but not any more than that.
3 AK stay in play as well, so AVEZ keeping all their main weapons in check. Their primary investment stays in, continues to gain value. Crazy has got to go to the eco here. One MAC-10 still left for Kai as the reinvestment comes in from Marcos. 2 Zeus's for DemQ and Sensei. Probably unlikely to do much from here unless they get to the angle positions, and you can see actually they're placed up behind the server racks and also at Pop Dog. But that kind of a range is not going to help that much against Kai, who swings in from T-Con, shuts him and Psycho down immediately for 2 big value frags on the SMG. Toxic with his P250 taps up on Kai, just tagging to 12 points of health, but Norot is there alongside a second player below him. And the Zeus is Sensei in a 1 versus 5. I mean, if he catches off one of the AKs, then sure, fair play. Marcos might just give him up that opportunity. Hearing all those footsteps around him. Look in the corner. Oh, the Zeus shot misses again. Second time that's happened so far, but 12-6, AVEZ. Confident pistol and conversions, and the rifle's now set to come out from Crazy.
And I'll tell you what, they win this rifle round, I could certainly see a comeback coming out from Crazy. They lose it, and I think they're done. That's one big problem, is having a weaker side on a map. I mean, Train and Nuke, I suppose, are big CT-sided maps. And the fact is, you know, AVEZ, they got off 9 rounds on CT, they won the pistol, they're up 12-6, I should say. They're in a really good position that they win out this gun round. They just have so much momentum to be able to carry forward to getting this map victory. So for Crazy, they need an answer, and they need one now.
So I'm going to start off here towards the Olof position, taking out the first of Nora. That's a good start for Crazy, the kind of one that could get them back in on the CT half, but flashbangs in. AVEZ still maintaining their map control and setting up their default positions. There's no contention towards Pop Dog as well, so Kyler will jump face, ensure that nobody is going to be there, and he doesn't go down so easily when he makes his way down that ladder, but primary concern is going to be that Ivy control. 3 of the 4 players remaining for AVEZ stacked up here. They need to gain this position if they want to go for the, if they want to execute on the plan.
For AVEZ, like, they don't really have too much map control at the moment. Kyler, he's established Pop Dog control. He's kind of around Brown Halls, but he hasn't seen if anyone's pushed up aggressively. So it all really comes down to this Ivy play. It needs to be for AVEZ some success. They need to be able to try and bring it back into an even playing field, whether it's a 4-on-4 or a 3-on-3. They can't play the numbers game and the disadvantage, and they're just walking Ivy.
Look down, 35 seconds. M4 still standing by. The flash out from Bialy could get caught off guard. CSGO. No one's going to check behind them. Is he going to push forward to the smoke? Kai will keep his eyes on. 20 seconds though. AVEZ need to make their way in right now, and CSGO will drop Kai. 2 players out. Stop-up bomb gets dropped by Psycho as all the kills get mopped up. Bialy's last man standing. 1 on 5, and Sensei, blinded by the flash, takes him down regardless.
Alrighty then. Well, that's a really great round coming out for the crazy side, just completely shutting it down. And for AVEZ, it comes off the back. They lose that opening man advantage. They're trying to take the Ivy presence. They really try and slow it down, but they just don't find any entries. They try and see if they can go for that bomb plant, have not really been able to clear out all the cheeky positions. And for Crazy, that is a round that could potentially kickstart their comeback.
Flashes in, fast play out from the AK here at the T side. Look how close Kai's gotten. They have no idea. And Demq's going to go down for it. Manic spray from Psycho doing damage, not getting the frag back. So AVEZ trying to respond off a couple of disaster rounds. Now the AK is pushing in from Ivy, could get some damage of their own right. Psycho flashed in, Marcos takes him back, looks towards the connector area as well. His teammates covered off Pop Dog already. And Kyle are going to get another kill on CSGO, even Toxic and Sensei back on the B side to save, because this is not worth it. The money line will be knocked for a loop. And Crazy will have to keep as many rifles in to bolster a force buy, as AVEZ are about to get to unlucky 13 on their T side.
And I'll tell you what, that's a great read from AVEZ. They realized, okay, that previous gun round, it was very slow. We were trying to gain map control. It didn't quite work. Let's see if we can change it up. Let's see if we can get aggressive. And well, Kai, he gets into sandwich so damn quickly, finds an opening kill. And for Crazy, once they lose a couple more players, they go, right, you know, we can't even continue trying to fight. We have to go for the save. And for AVEZ, well, they only lose a single player, so that helps try and at least build their economy, which doesn't really exist in terms of reserve cash. 13-7. 3 more rounds for AVEZ to be able to take the opening map of their own map pick of Train. And for Crazy, you've got to think that they've got to force the investment back, right? They've certainly got money for it. I mean, Sensei could drop an M4, Toxic could drop an M4, at least to try and keep the money line in a semi-decent result.
Oh, as you mentioned, there should be enough money to go for a buy-up anyway. I mean, you know, it will still be difficult. There'll still be some issues across the board. The utility may have to be considered from CSGO. She goes without head Kevlar for it, which is respectable. AK is a crowd out across the entire T-side board, so the head Kevlar won't matter too much anyway. But the AWP and the M4 certainly keeps them at a decent stance here on money line. Not an amazing stance, but it could be looking a lot worse if they lost those 2 rifles. May have to consider the half buy as a result of it, but Molotov's in. Look at the aggression from Crazy, knowing that they are up against the walls. They have to try and push back, and unfortunately it's going to get them into an even worse position. Psycho down to start. Demq desperately looking for Kai. He's been seen. Bialy swings, gets himself a tidy 2k, and now looks to press on towards the A bomb site. The AWP Sensei just can't seem to catch him off. A good flick on towards Bialy. Does get traded back. CSGO trying to keep control to a 3-on-2. The AWP seeing him. 1 player back at Pop Dog. The teams are going to make their way up to the bomb site. CSGO knows this. The AK slowly closing in. It's all a case of timing, and the headshot comes in anyway. Toxic 1v3. Could stop the bomb. Could stop the AWP, I should say, but no. Marcos swinging in, getting his kill, getting the 14th for AVEZ.
Now, I'm not really too concerned in terms of numbers for the AWPers of these respective sides, but in terms of impact, it really seems like Sensei has not been able to find that impact with the AWP, both on T or CT side, whereas for Marcos, he can do it all. He can AWP on the entry on T, finding opening kills, finding a lot of impact at the moment. And tactical pause from Crazy, they're thinking, okay, well, we don't really have enough money to go for a force buy. Toxic and Psycho do. Demq, Sensei, and CSGO don't. So they're going to play for OT here by the looks of things.
Indeed, it does look like they will.
Auto. No? Toxic's force bought.
Never mind.
Okay. I mean, it looked like they were going to go for just a half buy, but no. Auto shotgun out. Let's see what he can do with it.
I mean, it's the kind of weapon that can work. I mean, we've mentioned many times that if you push through a ramp, then you can just shut down an entire T-side rush towards B site. And AVEZ I don't think they're going to go that far, but you can see Toxic is going to make his way into that ramp position and try and contest it. A lot of utility being put out for the nade stacks, the damage done. Kyler tagged initially here for, I believe, a wallbang shot. The XM for Toxic still standing by, seeing that flashbang and evade it entirely as Norrock gets that first kill on DemQ, traded back by Sensei for his AWP. They'll know that they force bought now, so they realize that they've got Crazy on the ropes. If AVEZ can still take this round confidently, then they're going to be able to probably secure the map here.
Crazy. They've got a little bit of an idea of what's going on. They've been able to push Ivy, so they know that there's no Ivy presence coming out. The B-side player is at least now very passive from Toxic. He tried to get aggressively, but they don't know about the pop dog position, and that's the man advantage going right back the way of AVEZ.
Crazy need to find a response. They need to do so now. Sensei with his orb scoping into Pop Dog, looking on towards T-Con. I mean, all the utility seems to suggest it's going to be A, but you're right. It's going to be the shotgun from Toxic. Time to shine for you, my man. 13 kills in this matchup so far. Can he bolster his numbers? Can he bolster the round? He'll get the first frag onto Kyler. Grab the AK, look on the second player, but the spray is awkward. Sergers at a 5-7 trades back on the A site, grabs that AWP, but a 1v2, a retake out from already a player here in Connector, and that's going to be the 15th round for AVEZ. 8-2 overtime for Crazy, with a broken bye as well. I think it's over, Dweg.
I'm with you there, and it really seems like for Crazy, they weren't able to get going. I mean, certainly the economy line's been a factor. We've seen a lot of forces. We've seen at least that one round they won. You know, even the economy wasn't able to stay stable for most of this first half. But the thing you got to take into account is Crazy. They've never really got going in this second half. Only one round on the CT side, and well, for AVEZ, they've certainly got the weaponry advantage, and they only need one more round, Jay.
M4s on one player. 2 from Arcee, a scout on SMG. The SMG from DemQ will move in to the T-Con area, but nothing's going to be seen here. The T's are backed off. They're going to lean towards the B site once again. A much faster setup for a much faster execution to just end things right here, right now. And the CTs have read this here. The aggression from T-Con has allowed the stack to come through from the 4 players of the CT defensive, so this could still get interesting if AVEZ continue to commit.
Thing is though, Bialy, he could either sell a fake here at A and try and force the rotations out, or if he gets aggressively, he's going to find out. And I'll tell you what, this could honestly be a B fake where they go down from Pop Dog to this A bomb site.
Flashes in, Norrot's going to move up. Bialy has isolated that kill on DemQ, and the player to rotate is Sergers. They've seen all the utility, but no T-side presence. 5 versus 4 as Bialy moves closer to the old hell. Norlock's going to make his way up on the train, take out Sergers, and 3 players left standing for Crazy to deny AVEZ their map victory. The scout as Sensei looks in, looks to the back line, scope out towards Bialy, allows Psycho a chance to get the kill. So good reaction times to the information gain on the footsteps. How much more can they get done here? Marcos will drop Psycho. Sensei will be the last man standing. If Toxic goes to Norrock, and he doubles up for his 16-7. AVEZ will be able to take their map pick against Crazy in much more dominant fashion compared to a couple days ago, Dwayne. So the dominant force coming out on top here for the Polish side. A first map going their way.
And that looked really good from AVEZ. I was very impressed. That was a dominant performance, and they looked in complete control. First half and the second half, they read Crazy really well. We saw a lot of fakes coming out on the T side. I don't know how. They must have just had so many gut feelings, but the amount of times that we'd seen stacks coming out from the Crazy side, AVEZ using utility to whether it was A or B, and then rotating to the site that's pretty much undefended. A fantastic T half, and honestly, if AVEZ can play like that on train, I certainly think that they can bring a lot more to the table, Jay.
No, absolutely. That looked brilliant. That looked so brilliant there. But by comparison to the last time they faced off against each other here on train, and it was a much better T side for AVEZ. You know, they lost it to sorry, they barely took it against the Crazy Alarm just because of the fact, you know, that the T side went the way that it did basically. So you know, they've had such a weird sort of matchup by comparison here. That one went 19-16. This one went 16-7, and AVEZ currently on top of things. Will continue on to Vertigo, the map pick of Crazy, Dwayne. Could there be a different future lined up here for the Ukrainians?
Yeah, look, there certainly can be. I certainly think that going into Vertigo, we can still see that being a map victory for the crazy side. But the thing that they need to be thinking of is the fact of, let's get the CT side going. Let's not rely on the T side. I mean, Vertigo, yes, it's a little bit of a different map. It is a more T-sided than a map like Train. But they've got to come into it fresh attitude. Completely, take Train out of the equation. Let's not think about it. Let's think on what's going forward.
Over on the B stream, you just saw it there from Fate and Hard Legion. Currently looking pretty good for the Fate side, 12-9 on that board, as that is continuing over on that B stream. For now, though, we're going to go to a short break, and when we come back, we will be looking at Vertigo between the likes of AVEZ and Crazy. So don't go anywhere. We're back after this very short break.
Okay. Alrighty.
Nice shot. Lock and load. Wow, very good. Let me show you how it is done. Yeah, no. Damn! That was one of the best tickle fights I've been to.